never start. Got cars that never start. No plan B, can't sleep. My mind racing. Brown paper, put it underground, build the foundation.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is my fight prediction video for the Keith Thurman versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero fight, which of course is happening today on the PBC Premier Boxing Champions Series live on NBC. Now we're going to get straight to the fight. I truly believe this fight has the potential to be one of the best fights of 2015, but we're just going to see how it plays out. We will begin the video with the Ghost. He's 32 wins, 18 by KO, 2 losses, 1 draw. You can see his age, he's reaching his height. It's all there for you to see. The most important thing is what he does in the ring, the characteristics of Robert the Ghost Guerrero. First thing we can say is he's coming into this fight as the experienced guy. He's the one with the know-how in terms of the fact that he's done this many times before. So we have to give that to the Ghost Guerrero. He has that experience advantage over Keith Thurman. The second point is the fact that Robert the Ghost Guerrero has very good inside fighting skills. Okay, Guerrero knows what to do on the inside. Okay, once we realize that Guerrero is a very good inside fighter, then we understand that if he's able to keep this fight on the inside in the phone booth the way he has done in the past, you really have Guerrero getting the advantage because he knows his way around the fight in a phone booth. Okay, so the next point is that Robert the Ghost Guerrero actually has good boxing skills. He's actually a very good boxer, but the thing is, as he moved up to welterweight, for some reason, he really just abandoned his boxing skills in favor of this slugging, brawling style, which I really, I just can't comprehend why somebody would do that. If we remember that Guerrero actually began at featherweight, at 126 pounds, he became the IBF featherweight champion. That was mainly due to his boxing skills. If you watched him when he moved up to super featherweight, again, he was a very good boxer, at that division. He moved up to lightweight, and again, he was really performing and showcasing a good understanding of his boxing skills. All of a sudden, he comes up to welterweight, and he just seems to abandon all of that boxing skills. So that's basically why I put a question mark behind that, because it really depends on which Robert Guerrero shows up. If the Guerrero who was at 135 pounds and below, the boxing Guerrero shows up, we will have a completely different fight than if the guy who fought Kamagai shows up, because that guy is the slugging, brawling style Robert Guerrero. If the boxing one from featherweight shows up, we have a completely different fight. Moving on to the next point, we all know he has a good chin. He's a very durable guy. Guerrero has lost twice, but he's never been stopped. He's never been stopped in any of his fights that he's had. So we know he has a good chin. And that's going to count for something because we understand the type of power that one time is bringing. So, when you have a good chin going into the competition, that should be a good thing. And the final thing is Robert Guerrero is a tough and rugged opponent. Okay, this is not an easy type of fight. This guy will bring the fight to Keith Thurman. He knows all the tricks of the trade. And especially on the inside, he knows exactly what to do on the inside. And then you add the fact that he has a good chin, you can begin to see that Guerrero has a chance in this fight. And people just write this guy off and make it seem like this is going to be an easy win for Keith Thurman, which I don't think it is. I think some people underestimate just how good Robert Guerrero actually is. I mean, this guy is something like a 4-time world champion, if I'm not mistaken. So this is not going to be an easy fight for Keith Thurman. You have to understand this is by far his best opponent. So this is not going to be an easy fight. This is a tough, rugged opponent who is coming to fight. Now let's talk about Keith Thurman. Once again, his fight statistics have been provided for you to see. 24 wins, 21 by KO. Undeniable power. That's just what that means. 26 years old and, no losses, no draws. This is a legitimate welterweight. All right, so let's begin right from the beginning. Keith Thurman has the age advantage as well as the fact that he's also the faster guy. He has the faster hand speed. And of course, we understand that this has to count for something because his speed can very quickly begin to disrupt Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Moving on to the second point, this guy has real punching power. This is somebody who can really put people to sleep. This is somebody who specializes in making his opponent take naps. Okay, we have to understand 21 KOs. That's 21 people that he tucked into bed. Okay, this is a guy who can punch. So we do know Guerrero has a good chin, but has he faced anybody who can punch as hard as Keith Thurman? That's the question. I believe in 24 fights, only one opponent hasn't touched the canvas and I just forget his name right now, but you guys can remind me in the comment section. Only one guy has been in there with Keith Thurman and hasn't touched the canvas. Okay, that's quite an achievement. The next point is that he's a great boxer. This is something that's unquestionable. If you watch his fights, you'll notice that it's not just the power. So many people want to talk about his power because that's what they see. It's very flashy, it's very obvious, but Keith Thurman is an excellent boxer. And you see that in the Leonard Bundu fight, because that fight with Bundu shows you his boxing skills, his use of feints, his ability to control distance with the jab to the body, jab to the head, mixing up his attack, his ability to change levels. There's so many things I can talk about with Keith Thurman, not only changing levels in terms of his head movement, but also in terms of where he's placing his punches. This guy is very, very sharp in the ring. All right, so let's talk about the fact that One Time is a natural welterweight. This is something that many people have overlooked. Keith One Time Thurman is a natural welterweight. This is the first natural welterweight that Guerrero is actually fighting since Andre Berto. So this is not going to be a walk in the park for Guerrero. This guy is a natural welterweight who can punch, who has good hand speed. Okay, let's not forget that Robert the Ghost Guerrero actually came up 4 weight divisions. He came up from featherweight and now campaigns at welterweight. Keith Thurman is a natural welterweight. I expect him to be bigger and stronger than Guerrero in the ring on fight night, because he's just a natural welterweight and he's strong. He's a strong individual. And the final point is that he has an analytical mind. Why I put this in there is because if you just listen to his interviews and you listen to the things that Keith Thurman says, One Time has an understanding of boxing that many boxers don't have. He has an understanding of boxing that many trainers don't have. Okay, and the reason I'm saying this is because you ask some fighters a question and it always comes down to speed. It always comes down to power. It always comes down to this and, basic stuff that is obvious for anybody to see. But you ask Keith One Time a question and this guy breaks it down from, explaining the elevation, explaining hand control, lead control, changing levels. He breaks it down with, if I move here, he's going to do this. I step my lead foot over there. He breaks it down, understanding the science behind boxing. He understands the punches and the counters, and he understands this guy's using distance deception. This guy's using this. Many boxers don't know how to break down boxing like that. Okay, for a lot of them, it's just, well, he has a great chin. He has power. He has speed. So I think this is how it's going to play out. Whereas Keith Thurman can look at a fight and say, this guy knows how to circle to his left, and then he's going to walk this guy into this punch, and he's going to evade this, and he's going to do that. And, he was switch hitting, and he was doing this, and the southpaw was doing this. He breaks it down from a boxing technical, analytical point of view. So when you have a guy like this who understands things like this and who has an analytical mind, like One Time, you need to understand that he will be able to make the adjustments that are required for him to make, depending on which Robert Guerrero shows up. So I think this is a huge advantage for Keith Thurman. Now, once again, I'm not saying Guerrero doesn't have a understanding of boxing. I'm simply saying that Keith One Time Thurman has shown me over all his interviews that he's done that he has probably one of the most analytical minds in boxing today. And for a guy who's only 26 years old, this is a very good thing to see. As to how I actually see the fight going, if Guerrero is able to keep Keith Thurman on the inside and make it a very close, brawling type of fight on the inside, Guerrero has all the advantages. If Keith Thurman is able to establish his distance early, use his intelligence, use his ring IQ, and just box with Guerrero, just stick and move and know exactly at what point to actually land some leather on Guerrero. If he's able to keep Guerrero on the end of his punches, then the advantage is with One Time. And also, I believe due to all the wars that Guerrero has been involved in, he's going to be more tired down the stretch. And there's a chance that Keith One Time Thurman will stop him in the 9th or 10th round. That's just what I see happening. Of course, if that doesn't happen, it's a 12-round decision for Keith One Time Thurman. So that is my prediction. He has the speed, he has the youth, he has the counter-punching skill, the boxing skill, the punching power. He's a natural welterweight. I see Keith Thurman winning this fight either by decision or by stoppage. And I will say I'm leaning more towards him stopping him in the 9th or 10th round. But if he goes to 12-round decision, either way, Keith Thurman is going to win this fight, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. This has been my fight prediction. I think it's going to be a great fight. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
You ain't figured I'm the one yet. Motherfuckers sleeping on your boy. Y'all niggas waiting on the sunset.
Wake up.
Just caught the crib off sunset. Make account fat, now my sunset. I just do this for fun, tell the truth. I ain't even having fun yet.
Nah.